The moment I accepted my fiance's demands for seeing other people turned into her biggest mistake since her own sibling was the first person I slept with. Be me, attending a corporate winter party back in 2008 as my wife Linda's plus one. Linda is one of their top performing investment advisors. Everyone respects her, can tell by how they treat her. Working at this fancy investment firm in the downtown Phoenix. Place is decorated with expensive art and has an amazing view of the city. During the party, Linda's coworker Richard Thompson and her boss Stephen Martinez get into heated discussion. They're talking about mortgage-backed securities, MBS. Stephen keeps pushing Linda to invest in these MBS things. Linda stands her ground like a boss. She flat out refuses to recommend anything to clients that she wouldn't invest in herself. Always admired her integrity. Don't know much about these investments myself, but William Parker, their top performer, seems convinced these MBS will keep making bank, only half following their finance talk. Can't help wondering why Linda isn't putting our money into something that seems so profitable. Don't want to embarrass her in front of work people, though. Keep my questions to myself until we get home. Drive home in comfortable silence. Linda seems deep in thought. Trust her completely with our financial decisions. She knows way more about this stuff than I do. After getting home, finally ask her about it. Want to know why we're not jumping on this MBS train, if it's such a good deal. Linda explains everything patiently. Tells me MBS means mortgage-backed securities. Says she's seeing major red flags in the market. Warns that these investments could trigger a complete economic meltdown. Shows me some charts and data on her laptop. Her coworkers are just chasing quick profits. Linda believes housing market is super unstable. Says, it's going to crash hard when the bubble bursts. This gets my attention because I'm working as project manager for home builder in Tampa. Ask her if this crash might affect my job. Linda, always thinking ahead, suggests I should switch industries soon. Says she's planning to do the same. Thinks Stephen Martinez and Associates won't survive the crash. Following Linda's advice, immediately contact Headhunter for new job. Send out my resume to different companies. Nothing comes up for next 9 months. Greg Winters, my job agent, says market is already showing cracks. Exactly what Linda predicted. Then in October 2009, Greg calls with potential lead. Job is in Boulder, Colorado. Not thrilled about relocating. But no, I need to keep options open. Tell Greg I need to discuss it with Linda first. Ask for details about the position. He explains it's with Premium Auto Services Corporation. Company builds and franchises car service centers across the country. They need project managers for construction oversight. Starting salary is about $2,000 less than current position. But Greg says there's good potential for growth. Ask about company culture and benefits. Sounds decent enough. Want to know about travel requirements. Greg mentions they're expanding in Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana. Means quite a bit of travel would be needed. Economy looking shaky, so ask about company stability. Ask if they can survive a recession. Greg assures me their services would actually do better in downturn. Says people need affordable places to fix old cars when they can't buy new ones. Makes sense when you think about it. Tell him I'll discuss with Linda and get back tomorrow. Drive home that evening, feeling anxious about potential changes. Find Linda in kitchen making her signature dish. Grilled salmon with roasted vegetables. My absolute favorite meal. Kitchen smells amazing. She always cooks when she has something important to discuss. Wait until kitchen is cleaned up. Tell her about job offer with Premium Auto Services. Half expect her to have concerns about moving to Boulder. To my surprise, Linda doesn't hesitate. Instead of doubting the move, she seems excited. Mentions how beautiful Colorado mountains are. Her first question is about start date. Tell her job begins 1st of next month. She points out we only have 3 weeks to prepare. Linda says she needs time to give notice at Stephen Martinez and Associates. Has to break news to her clients. Could take longer than 3 weeks we have. Ask if she's really okay with making such a big move. She reassures me about incoming economic crash. Says Stephen Martinez and Associates bound to collapse. Tells me I'd likely end up jobless too if we stay. Agrees job offer sounds promising, but insists on doing her own research first. Always thorough with everything. Spends 2 hours at computer analyzing company. Comes back with her verdict. Premium Auto Services Corporation looks solid. Has strong business plan and good financials. Advises me to accept offer immediately. By last week of October, already moved to Boulder. Found small 2-bedroom apartment near Pearl Street. Place is basic but clean and has mountain views. Linda stays behind in Tampa to sell our house. Needs to finish up work at Stephen Martinez and Associates. Gives her clients two options. They can stick with another broker at the firm or transfer to different company altogether. Most clients appreciate her honesty about situation. Linda also sends out resume to few brokers in Boulder. Quickly lands job with new brokerage office that just opened. Takes month to sell Tampa house. Have to lower asking price by $5,000. Still managed to walk away with decent profit. Once Linda finally joins me in Boulder, I'm already working. Overseeing 2 service center projects in western Colorado. At least allows me to come home every night. Linda seems happier here already. Spend next 4 months exploring area together. Getting used to slower pace and mountain lifestyle. Spring 2010, find foreclosed house on Ridge Road. About 11 miles north of Boulder. Has stunning view of Rocky Mountains and Boulder Creek. Only house built in what was supposed to be larger subdivision. Original developers went bankrupt before finishing project. Their loss is our gain. Big craftsman-style house with character. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. 2-car garage with workshop space. Linda and I both thrilled about finding it. Seems like perfect place to start family. Takes time getting used to having no neighbors nearby. But privacy is kinda nice. Linda adapts quickly to new job. Already building up solid client list. Even reconnects with few old clients from Tampa. By January, wrap up 2 projects managing in Colorado. Pick up 2 new ones in Wyoming. Means spending 3 or 4 nights week on road. Not easy being away from home so much. But we have solid plan. Stick with job until housing market recovers. Then can return to home building industry. One positive about being away. Time spent at home feels more meaningful. Really cherish moments with Linda. After 4 years with Premium Auto Services. Company growing steadily. I'm doing well professionally, but means even more travel required. Linda never complains once about situation. She's laser focused on our financial future. Working hard as investment advisor. Her goal is clear as day. Build enough wealth so we can start family. Also wants us to retire early. Always thinking 10 steps ahead. March 2014, come home after being away 3 weeks. Looking forward to relaxing long weekend. Instead of usual warm welcome. Greeted by serious-looking Linda. Something feels off immediately. She sits me down for talk. Says she's been thinking a lot about starting our family, but doesn't think we're financially ready yet. Has found new investment opportunity. Believes it could fast-track our financial goals within 2 years. Would allow us to start family. She could become stay-at-home mom. Linda mentions meeting investment advisor named Robert Hughes. Met him at financial seminar. Been talking over investment idea with him for few weeks. Tells me Robert, with his experience in these investments, really excited about opportunity. He believes it could more than triple what we put in. She reassures me, risk is manageable. Says once Robert arrives, they'll both go over specifics, including how much money we'd need to invest. Can see she's already convinced about this. Later, hear car pull into driveway. Step outside to see Hughes arriving. Pulls up in flashy silver, 2012 Porsche 911. Always had soft spot for Porsches. Seeing him in one sparks bit of envy, especially since stuck driving company F-150 with 4-wheel drive. We shake hands, size each other up. Hughes about my height, around 6'2". Dark brown hair, cropped short. Has well-groomed goatee. Gives off friendly vibe, smiles easily. Catch slight accent, can't quite place. Ask where he's from. Mentions growing up in Wisconsin. Spent last decade in Milwaukee. Seems polished. Maybe too polished. Head inside together. Linda comes out of kitchen carrying tray. 2 craft beers, glass of red wine, some appetizers. Makes casual remark about introductions being done. Says we can jump right into things. That's when Linda begins laying out plan. Hadn't shared any details with me before now. All ears as she starts explaining. Notice how Robert watches her while she talks. Linda explains she was working with client month ago. Client owns drilling company involved in uranium mining. Operating out in Nevada desert. Linda's eyes light up as she tells story. During conversation, client mentions something interesting. One of his competitors planning to start mining in Colorado. State legislature just gave green light for operations. Drilling expected to begin sometime next year. This conversation got Linda thinking she always sees opportunities others miss. Breaks it down for me carefully. To explore, extract, or sell mineral deposits like uranium. Either need to own mineral rights for land or have lease agreement with whoever does. Linda, being sharp as ever, did some digging. Realized we could make serious money. If we snap up mineral rights from property owners, before mining companies move in, They'd have no choice but to lease rights from us. Major payout opportunity. Never seen her this excited about investment before. After Linda finishes explaining, Hughes chimes in with his research. Says he verified everything she found. Real kicker is we wouldn't need to buy actual land, just mineral rights. If we act fast, Hughes believes, could easily triple our investment. He keeps glancing at Linda while talking. Trust Linda's instincts about money, but have doubts about Hughes and potential risks involved. Something feels off about whole situation. Sensing my hesitation, Hughes explains most landowners don't actually own mineral rights. Rights were sold off long ago. He tracked down through public records. One family owns most mineral rights in area they're looking at. Hughes already reached out to family head, man named Daniel Morrison, who showed interest in selling for right price. Morrison family held onto rights when selling land years ago, thinking gold might be found on property, though that never happened. Hughes seems to have answer for everything. Clear that Linda and Hughes fully committed to plan. Whether or not I'm on board, Linda usually right about these things. Reluctantly agree to go along with it. Ask how much we'd need to put up for investment. They drop the number, $500,000 from us, matched by Hughes to buy mineral rights from Morrison family. Nearly choke on my beer hearing amount. Can't help feeling uneasy about large sum. Question both Linda and Hughes about confidence level. Linda, as always, stands firm. Insists opportunity too good to pass up. Hughes echoes her sentiment. They seem perfectly in sync. Then Linda brings up need to sign partnership agreement. Also asks me to grant her power of attorney, so she can act on my behalf when I'm out of town. Feels like lot happening at once, but trust her judgment completely. She hands me stack of papers. Before know it, sign 7 different documents. Soon as Hughes leaves, Linda acts strange. Unusually eager, pulls me toward bedroom. Seems nervous about being near windows. Keeps glancing outside like someone might be watching. But excitement seems to turn her on. We make love that night. She initiates 2 more times over weekend. Something feels different about her touch. By Monday morning, preparing to head back to Wyoming, feels strange unease about whole situation, particularly about her relationship with Hughes. Something feels off, not just size of our financial commitment. What really bothers me is weekend behavior. During entire time together, Linda never says, "I love you," something she always does before I leave. Words that used to come so naturally to her. Makes me wonder if what we shared that weekend was about love at all, or just her fulfilling some other need. Can't shake feeling something's wrong. 3 weeks later, return home. Linda's greeting feels distant. Gives brief kiss on cheek, barely acknowledges my presence, shows zero interest in how I've been. Like I'm a stranger in my own home. When asked how business venture progressing, her response short, lacks enthusiasm. Like she can't even pretend to be excited anymore. Coldness lingers throughout weekend. Finally ask her outright if something wrong. Claims she's just tired. Hints that my frequent absences aren't helping. First time she's ever complained about my travel. For first time in our marriage. Actually feel relieved when time to head back to Wyoming. Linda's cold demeanor persists in phone conversations, though after a while, warms up slightly. Still, whenever asked if something wrong, insists everything fine. But I'm not convinced. Marriage shouldn't feel this hollow. Her attitude makes me worry about state of our marriage, even though always picks up when I call. She sounds annoyed, though never says it directly. Think my being away so much is root problem. Try even harder to make her happy when home. But nothing seems to change, like trying to fix broken glass with Scotch tape. By January 2015, preparing to head home for long weekend. Call Linda to share my plans. She sounds unusually upbeat. Even warns me about heavy snow on mountain roads. Her voice has warmth and love haven't heard in months. Almost sounds like old Linda again. Gives me hope whatever troubled her finally behind us. But when get home, something doesn't feel right. First thing notice are tire tracks in snow, leading up to my side of garage. Too wide to be from Linda's Honda. Those tracks suggest different car parked in garage. Before snow fell, immediately think of Hughes's Porsche. Stomach drops at thought. Enter kitchen, Linda greets me warmly. Can't shake suspicion though. Casually ask if she's been out in snow. She denies it. Don't press issue. Even though gut screaming something off. Always trust your gut. By February, nearly convinced Linda having affair. Almost certain it's with Hughes. All signs point to betrayal. Decide only way to know for sure. Need to catch them in act. Week later, make unannounced trip home. Show up full week early. Rent car. Park at quarter mile from house. Slip inside quietly. Garage empty. Nothing seems out of place. Wait in basement. Determined to confront them if they show. Heart pounding whole time. While later, hear Hughes's Porsche. Can hear engine long before reaches driveway. Quietly make way to kitchen door. Ready to burst in and confront them both. But as listen to conversation, completely blindsided by what hear. Don't understand why you're being so hard on yourself, hear Hughes say. This isn't your fault. He made his choice and didn't care how much it would hurt you. Voice low but clear. I know, Linda replies, sounding conflicted. But isn't there another way to handle this? Feel sick listening to them. Well, you could file for divorce and claim adultery, but that would take at least 6 months. Means we couldn't be together until it's finalized. If he finds out we're together, he could countersue. You'd lose your advantage. After all that, you'd only get half of everything, and we need all of it for our plans, Hughes says calmly. My way will get you everything you want. And after he pulled you away from your friends and your job, don't you think you deserve everything? Can't believe what I'm hearing. Standing there in shadows. He's spinning lies, convincing Linda I had cheated on her. That's where her coldness came from. She thought I had been unfaithful. But why? Never cheated on Linda. Can't believe what hearing divorce to be with Hughes. Stomach twists and knots. This isn't even worst part. That wasn't even whole story. Something much darker going on. Won't I be prime suspect? Linda asks. Voice trembling with concern. She's actually considering this. Suspect for what? Mind racing, trying piece together their plot. What hell are they planning? Who will even notice he's missing once I become Ryan Anderson? Nobody will be looking for him. And his body will never be found. After that, we'll sell this house and move to Washington. I can make myself look enough like Ryan to get Washington driver's license. Then we'll be in clear, Hughes explains. Sounds like he's thought it all through. Blood running cold, hearing this. Heart pounding in chest. They're planning to kill me, end my life, then have Hughes assume whole new identity. My identity? But why? What's in it for him? Why hell would he want to be me? So when are we going to do it? Linda asks. Like she's talking about some routine task. Can't believe this is the same woman I married. We do it after he files your taxes. Don't want any trouble with IRS. And by then, he should have his annual bonus. I'll handle everything. All you need to do is keep him satisfied and clueless until we're ready. Hughes responds smoothly, like they're discussing business as usual. Feel bile rising in throat. I felt sick. Linda, woman I loved, sitting on other side of that door, conspiring with Hughes to have me murdered. They had planned everything, right down to timing around my taxes and bonus. My head spinning, world crashing down around me. Everything I thought I knew was lie, still in shock. Barely notice when Linda sets house alarm, trapping me inside. Disarming it would give me away. No way out without alerting them. Slowly retreat to basement, body numb, collapse into old chair. Try to breathe, try to think, try processing everything just overheard. But feels unreal. Had never cheated on Linda. How could she believe I had? And worse, how could she plan to end me? Over something wasn't even true? Betrayal cuts deep. Mind racing through what should do next. Need to stay calm, need to think clearly. Have no evidence to take to police. Just conversation I overheard. But no proofs, as much as want to stop them. Can't just run to authorities. Need them to pay for what plotting, not just be stopped. They had to be punished. Anger surges through me, sitting in basement, running through options. Time is only advantage I have now. Have to stay hidden until morning. Force myself to sleep. Feels impossible to rest, with everything swirling in mind. Every creak in house makes me jump. When morning comes, hear both cars leave. Cautiously make way upstairs. Remnants of their breakfast still on table. Cook myself eggs and toast. Simple act somehow calms me enough to think clearly. Food tastes like ash in my mouth. Sit down to eat. Begin planning next move. Confident can thwart Linda and Hughes's plan, but also want to make sure they can't benefit. If things don't go as expected, need to protect myself on all fronts. Know I have until April to act. For a brief moment, wonder if proving to Linda that I hadn't cheated could change her mind. Quickly dismiss thought. Doesn't matter anymore. Fact that she's plotting to end my life. While sleeping with Hughes, beyond forgiveness. They both have to pay. No going back from this betrayal. Over next 2 weeks. Set everything in motion. First cancel my life insurance. Then change my will. Leave everything to Mountain Rescue Association. Closely monitor our bank and investment accounts. Make subtle changes. They won't know what hit them. By end of March, done everything possible to protect myself. However, still lack evidence to take them down for good. Next move is to get inside Hughes' house. First Thursday of April. Return from Laramie unannounced around 5 p.m. Heart-racing hole drive back. Park my truck near abandoned mining station. On Old Canyon Road, just short distance from our house. Have good view of property from there. Wait patiently. Sure enough, at 5:16 p.m., Linda's Honda drives by. Watch carefully. Expect to see Hughes' silver Porsche following close behind. Am instead, brand new midnight blue Porsche. Passes by 5 minutes later. Bastard upgraded his car. My suspicion grows. Could Hughes have new car? Watching through binoculars. See blue Porsche pull into my garage. That's all confirmation I need. Time to make my move. After waiting another half hour to ensure they wouldn't leave, drive to Hughes' house, tucked away in secluded wooded area. Perfect for someone like him. Place practically screams hiding something. Park nearby, make way to house quietly. Look around carefully for security systems. Place seems too exposed not to have one. Doesn't seem to be alarm system. Lucky break for me. After searching, find hidden key above back door. Let myself in. Hands shaking while turning key. Head straight for Hughes' study. Figure if anything incriminating exists. It would be there, his laptop sitting on desk. Powered on. Almost too easy. Check underneath. Find list of passwords scrolled on piece of paper. Unbelievable. Guy planning perfect murder can't secure his passwords. Use password to access his emails. Begin sifting through them. At first nothing. No emails to Linda. No suspicious business deals. Just routine communication. Starting to think this was waste of time. Beginning to think this trip was bust. Until find one email that stops me cold. From real estate agent in Reno, Nevada. Dated February 3rd. Dear Mr. Anderson, as your agent, pleased to inform you, Mr. Vincent has accepted your $1.5 million offer for Silver Star Casino and Resort on Main Street. We'll send signed contract via FedEx. Once have it. Can schedule closing with Mr. Vincent's lawyers once they receive due diligence check from you. Mr. Vincent hopes to close deal in early May. Look forward to meeting you at closing. Sincerely, Benjamin Wilson. Feel blood drain from face. Heart skips beat. Hughes buying casino in Reno using my name. Ryan Anderson. What in hell going on? Is he using money we gave him for mineral rights to fund this? Is this part of his grand plan to steal my identity? Everything starting to make twisted sense. Quickly print email. No, it's vital evidence. Resume search. Combing through rest of emails. Most of them standard. Nothing of interest. Until stumble across link to bank account. Jackpot. Notice something peculiar there. No record of our $500,000 deposit. Instead, find check written to Anderson Enterprises, LLC. Had Linda and Hughes created company in my name? They've been busy planning this. Not sure, but makes me uneasy. Quick Google search tells me LLC Limited Liability Company can protect personal assets from lawsuits. Hit me then. Maybe they weren't just using LLC for mineral rights. Maybe this about something much bigger. Is Reno purchase linked to LLC? Pieces starting to fit together. More I uncover, more questions flood mind. Keep digging through Hughes' computer. Find something in his bookmarks labeled active projects. Hands trembling as I click. Takes me to website for Anderson Enterprises LLC. Heart sinks at what see. Homepage features photo of Hughes and Linda. Posing as Ryan and Linda Anderson. Listed as president and treasurer of company. Bile rises in throat. Hughes not just planning to take over my life. He's already doing it. Website describes Anderson Enterprises as investment company focused on mergers and acquisitions. Whole thing seems unfinished. Quick internet search confirms. Site isn't publicly available yet. Probably still in planning stages. Like rest of his scheme, they've thought of everything. After combing through more files, find nothing else useful on computer. Turn attention to desk. In top drawer, find loaded 9mm Glock. Leave it untouched for now. Next drawer has open FedEx envelope. Inside is purchase contract for Silver Star Casino and Resort. All offer of $1.5 million. Signed by Ryan Anderson. But sure as hell wasn't my signature. Hughes had forged it. Find 2 notebooks. One blue, one green. These could be important. Green notebook, essentially Hughes's blueprint. For past couple years, laid out in meticulous detail. Like some kind of twisted master plan. His plan, which ultimately involves my murder. Crafted with shocking precision. Involves Linda, myself, and Hughes himself at center. Can't believe what I'm reading. Can hardly believe contents. Hughes deliberately sought out married couple, around his age, with good careers, no kids, new to area. Wanted wife who was not only attractive, but assertive and trusted by her husband. Someone whose husband worked long hours or traveled often. We were perfect targets. Found us. Found Linda on LinkedIn. Researched us extensively. Decided we were perfect marks. In his notes, describes Linda as smart and sophisticated, confident he could seduce her, while seeing me as nothing more than mindless drone. He could manipulate. Blood boiling as I read. His plan kicked off in 2013. Posed as investment analyst, attended broker seminar where made his move on Linda. All carefully orchestrated. Quickly discovered Linda craved recognition, not just for looks, but for her intelligence and business sense. 3 months of calculated flattery later, persuaded her to have lunch with him. From there began meeting regularly, at least twice a week for meals, like spider weaving web. Hughes's next move, pure manipulation. Sent Linda anonymous note, suggesting I was having an affair in Wyoming. Planted seed of doubt in her mind. Hughes expertly nurtured her suspicions, fueling her anger, convinced her to wait for more proof. Before doing anything drastic, that proof came in form of second anonymous note, accompanied by photos. Stomach churns. Reading this, photos showed me with blonde woman, allegedly having dinner, leaving my hotel room together. Photos were doctored, of course. Never seen that woman in my life, but enough to push Linda over edge. Can't believe she fell for this. Once her anger festered long enough, Hughes made his move, seduced her. Their affair began more than a year ago. By then had her completely under his spell, told her he loved her, that he wanted to marry her after divorce, but advised her, keep quiet about my cheating. Every page makes me angrier. Hughes manipulated her further, convinced her to start hiding money, preparing for future where I wouldn't get dime in divorce. In his notes, Hughes described how he stoked Linda's resentment, reminded her how unfairly I treated her, by moving us to Colorado, away from her friends and family, then allegedly betraying her with another woman. Got her so worked up, she wasn't just angry anymore. She was determined to leave me penniless. His manipulation tactics are terrifying. When she finally vented about how unjust it was for me to get anything in divorce, that's when Hughes made most chilling suggestion. Proposed way for her to get everything, planning my murder. Writing gets more detailed here. Over course of few months, Linda began to fully agree with Hughes's twisted plan, actively started plotting with him. Entire mineral rights investment had been scam. From start, designed to drain our savings, put money out of my reach. They played me like a fool. According to Hughes's notes, Linda had assured him I was clueless about finances, that I trusted her completely. She convinced me buying mineral rights was smart move. Great investment for our future. Like trusting fool, I signed documents. Starting LLC, handing over all our savings. Reading my own stupidity hurts. As continue reading through notebook. Reach page 46. Hughes detailed grave. He dug 20 miles north. Complete with GPS coordinates. Feel cold sweat reading this. His plan was to end my life with arsenic in my coffee. Bury me there. Then assume my identity as Ryan Anderson. From there, they would resign from my job. Sell house and leave town. Vanishing without trace. Every detail meticulously planned. Linda helped form Anderson Enterprises, LLC, but she may not have known about Hughes's plan. To buy Silver Star Casino. Toward end of notebook. Find something that chills me to core. One last page. Hughes had written GPS coordinates. For Linda's grave, this one in Montana, bastard planning to kill her too. Seems she was just pawn in his larger scheme. If she knew about that, she certainly wouldn't be pleased. Wonder how many others he's done this to. No, I can't take this notebook to police. Not admissible since I stole it. Hughes could easily claim it was just rough outline, for book or some other excuse. Instead, decide to confront them. Need to play this smart. Let Linda read notebook herself. Record meeting. Then go to police. Catch them both red-handed. Perfect evidence when they confess. Wait until Friday. Figure Hughes would stay with Linda, so I could put green notebook back in its place. After evening, return everything to Hughes' desk as was. Stay at nearby motel. Can't sleep knowing what's coming. Using GPS coordinates found earlier. Locate my grave. Drive 15 miles north. Follow narrow mountain path. About half-mile down wooded hillside. Come to rocky area. Sure enough, there it is. Pile of dirt. Plywood covered with tarp. Hole about 6 feet long. 4 feet deep, standing at my own grave feels surreal. This where Hughes planned to bury me. Stare at it, feeling weight of own mortality. Was this really meant to be my final resting place? Not if I have anything to say about it. At 5:15 p.m., park by abandoned mining station. See Linda drive by? Heart pounding in chest. Wait until nearly 6 to see if Hughes would pass. When he does, follow him to his house. His new blue Porsche parked in driveway. Waiting is hardest part. At 6:30 p.m., Hughes leaves house. Tail him to mining station. Watch as he returns to my driveway. Enters garage. When his garage door finally closes, drive to Hughes's house. Time everything perfectly. Check his email. Grab notebook along with purchase contract for Silver Star Casino and Resort. For good measure, take Glock he had stashed in drawer, just in case. Better safe than sorry. By 8:00 p.m. back at my house. Park outside, enter through garage, Glock hidden beneath my shirt. Step inside, hear music and voices from living room. Blood running cold, creep toward noise. When peek in, we'll see them, Linda and Hughes, both completely naked, sprawled on sofa. Linda has evidence of their activity, leaking from her. They're drinking expensive wine, oblivious to world around them, want to vomit at sight. Music turned up loud, masking any sounds I make. Rage surges through me at that moment, comes so close to forgetting plan entirely. Just shooting them both right then and there. Force myself to pull back. Step into kitchen to gather thoughts. Must stick to plan. Set phone to record audio. Take deep breath. Exhale slowly. Before walking into living room. Guess you weren't expecting me this weekend. Say loud enough to be heard over music. Time to end their little party. Scene that follows almost comedic in its absurdity. Hughes spins around so fast. Falls off sofa. Hits floor with loud thud. While Linda screams, dropping her wine glass. Like scene from bad movie. There she is, scrambling to cover herself, as spilled wine mixes with their bodily fluids, on leather sofa. Hughes looks up at me from floor, wide-eyed, while Linda panics, trying to hide her shame. Can't help feeling grim satisfaction. Can't help but feel dark satisfaction. This only beginning. Why don't you two get dressed? Then we can have talk, suggest. Try keeping voice calm. Linda, after initial shock, seems oddly unfazed, simply gathers herself, heads upstairs to our bedroom, without saying word. Acting like this is minor inconvenience. Hughes, on other hand, picks up his clothes, starts dressing right there in front of me, as if whole situation just minor setback. His arrogance is stunning, once fully dressed. Let's sit down and wait for Linda to come back. Let's not make big deal out of this. Hughes says with casual shrug, want to wipe smirk off his face, stare at him in disbelief. Are you kidding? You're sleeping with my wife, and you think I should just brush it off like nothing? This is huge deal to me. Hughes raises his hands, as if he understands, but something patronizing in way, he does it. He still thinks he's in control. We sit in silence, waiting for Linda. When she finally comes back downstairs, wearing bathrobe, glancing between Hughes and me, notice slight smirk on his face. That's when notice faint smirk, tugging at corners of Hughes's mouth. I could use cup of coffee. How about you, Linda? Why don't you make pot? Hughes says, voice laced with smugness. This is it, their final move. Linda seemed calm when first walked into room, but as soon as Hughes asks for coffee, her expression changes completely. She looks worried, moment of truth approaching. That's when hits me. Hughes signaling her to poison my drink, planning to take me out right here and now. Sit back watching her as she moves into kitchen, from where sitting, can see her starting coffee machine, filling it with water. When she disappears out of view, realize she's probably preparing what she thinks will be my final cup of coffee. They have no idea. I know everything. Silence in room grows thick, almost suffocating. Break it by asking, so how long have you two been having an affair? Hughes grins like snake. We've been in love for just over a year now. His confidence makes me sick. Sit there in uncomfortable silence. Another 10 minutes. Coffee maker finally lets out usual hissing sound, signaling coffee done. 5 minutes pass before Hughes calls out, hey, if you're free, bring in coffee. In minute, Linda replies. Each second feels like eternity. Eventually, she appears, carrying tray with cups of coffee, sets tray down on coffee table, hands me my cup first, then gives Hughes his. As she sits down, she looks at me. For fleeting moment, think see guilt in her eyes, Maybe she regrets what they about to do. Too late for regrets now. Hughes, on other hand, all smiles as he sips his coffee, clearly pleased with himself. Pick up my cup, hold it for a second, then set it back down. It's too hot, say. Let tension hang in air. Playing their game now. Turn gaze to Linda. So Linda, why did you let yourself get drawn to this piece of trash? Hughes smirks, clearly enjoying moment, takes another sip of his coffee before chiming in. You might as well tell him now. Doesn't matter anymore. Their overconfidence will be their downfall. Linda finally speaks, voice quiet but steady. You were never around and Robert was referring to Hughes. He convinced me I'd be better off with him than with you. Her words cut like knife. Her answer strikes me as odd. Expected her to throw out accusations of infidelity, something to justify her actions. But she doesn't even try to blame me for cheating, which had been foundation of this whole mess. Something doesn't add up. Hughes too seems unsettled by her response. Had clearly been expecting something different. Pick up my cup again. Swirl coffee. Let it hover near my lips before setting it back down. That's pretty weak excuse for having affair, say coldly. Watch their reactions carefully. Hughes glances at Linda, clearly agitated. It's more complicated than you think, he says, trying to regain control of conversation. This isn't just affair. Linda will be my wife once divorces. Cut him off. Once I'm dead, right? Shoot him. Look, time to show my hand. Pretend to take another sip from cup. Watching Linda's reaction. She focused on Hughes, obvious he, waiting for me to drink, when set cup down again. Without taking sip, Hughes's frustration becomes more evident. They're getting desperate. Time to end this charade. Linda, could you please fetch notebook? I left on kitchen table. Ask while locking eyes with her. She freezes for a moment, then stands up slowly. Realizing game is over, everything about to change. As Linda stands up to fetch notebook, discreetly draw a Glock from under jacket. Keep it hidden behind right thigh. Hughes looks puzzled. What notebook? His confidence starting to crack. While you were busy with my wife last night, was visiting your place, found rather interesting notebook in your desk. The green one with your plans for Linda and me. When Linda returns with notebook, Hughes snatches it from her. It's just some silly notes I made for fun. Did you let Linda read it? Asik, looking at him intently. I don't think Linda needs to see that. Hughes says, trying to downplay situation. Time to spring trap. Well, police will be very interested in it. When they arrive, say coldly, especially once they discover arsenic. In coffee Linda made for me. You two going to be in serious trouble? Watch color drain from their faces. Hughes stands up, moves toward me, but halts when sees Glock in my hand. Sit back down, order, firmly. Hughes picks up his coffee cup, looking like might throw it at me. Stand up, aim Glock at his head. Sit down and be quiet. Command with steel and voice. No more games. Hughes complies. Sits back down, as do I. Room falls into tense silence. Emily and Hughes both seem to be waiting for me to speak. Hughes tries maintaining composure, sipping his coffee. But Linda looks extremely anxious, and she should be. Finally, Linda breaks silence. Ryan, I'm really sorry for everything. That's happened. You don't have to worry. I didn't put anything in your coffee, she says, voice trembling. Hughes shoots her angry look. What did you do? He demands. Everything about to unravel. Linda takes deep breath. I found notebook in kitchen while making coffee and read it. Everything you told me was leak. I was ready to end Ryan because I believed your deceit. But now I discover you were planning to end me too, her voice shaking with rage and betrayal. I was so foolish, but not anymore. I did put poison in your coffee. Hughes's face twists with rage. Damn you, he shouts, lunges at Linda. She moves out of way. He crashes to floor as he tries to get up. His breathing becomes labored, lips turning blue, justice serving itself. Within minutes, he's convulsing, foaming at mouth. Not long before he lay lifeless. Poetic end for poisoner. Linda sits on sofa, tears streaming down as she stares at Hughes's lifeless body, with tears still flowing. She looks at me. I'm sorry, Ryan. You should call police now. When they arrive, I'll confess that I put poison in his coffee. Her voice sounds hollow, broken. Hold phone, ready to dial. But as consider what to tell police. Realize situation could have serious consequences. For me as well. Looking at Hughes's body on floor makes me feel nauseous. Need to think this through. Walk to kitchen. Sit at table. Trying to clear head. Linda follows. Takes seat across from me. Buries face in hands. I can't believe I ruined my life like this. She sobs. I let that bastard destroy everything. I'm so sorry. I deserve whatever happens to me now. Can hear genuine regret in her voice. When don't reply, Linda asks anxiously. Aren't you going to call? Could you get me craft beer while I figure this out? Reply calmly. Need time to think clearly. Hughes isn't going anywhere. So why should we rush? Sit quietly for 10 or 15 minutes. Take sip of beer. Finish it slowly. Only then speak again. How would you like to avoid jail time? Ask carefully. Linda looks at me bewildered. How could I? I killed him and you saw me do it. Plus you have that notebook. With his plan to kill you with my help. I also recorded our conversation. Watch realization hit her. How many people know about you and Hughes? Inquire carefully. Nobody knows except for you, Linda replies. We made sure no one saw us together in public. I never mentioned affair to anyone. Why did you ask if I wanted to avoid jail? She continues, voice trembling. Time to lay out my plan. If you want to stay out of prison, we need to deal with problem in other room. Say while pointing toward living room. Deal with him how? Linda asks, face pale. Since he kindly left us empty grave. We follow his plan, but with twist, grave will be for him instead of me. Explain carefully. Watch her process implications. Linda's face goes ashen. You want to bury him? No, we will bury him. I need you to empty his pockets. Give me his car keys, wallet, and anything else he's carrying. Can't you do that? He was your lover, and you killed him. So it's your job, you'd say firmly, she needs to be part of this. Linda hesitates, but then goes into living room, takes Hughes's wallet from back pocket, rolls him onto back, searches his front pockets, hands me his wallet and keys, her hands shaking whole time. While you get dressed, I'm going to drive my truck into garage, say with calm authority. Back Hughes' Porsche out of garage. Park my truck close to kitchen door as possible. Need to work fast now. For a brief moment, fantasize about owning Porsche, but quickly dismiss as problem to tackle later. Once Porsche outside, park truck as close to kitchen door as can. Inside, Linda now dressed in jeans and sweater, waiting in kitchen, looking pale but determined. We drag Hughes' body to garage, load it into truck bed, cover with tarp, instruct Linda to get into truck, while search for shovel and hand truck in back. Everything feels surreal. First 10 minutes of drive are silent, until break silence. Why did you betray me? Ask directly. Linda takes deep breath. Robert convinced me you were cheating. Said he was in love with me. Persuaded me that leaving you was necessary. For our future together, he promised removing you would allow us to build Anderson Enterprises and make millions. Her voice full of regret was manipulated by anger and guilt. Knew forgiveness would be difficult, if not impossible. For both of us, listen to Linda's explanation. But don't respond immediately. Instead ask, why was Hughes planning to take over my identity? Need to understand full scope. Linda explains Hughes's master plan, intended to make it seem like we quit our jobs, sold house, and moved to Washington, ensuring no one would come looking for us. Her voice trembles explaining details. Curious about new Porsche, ask what's deal with car. Linda laughs bitterly. Car isn't problem at all. Actually leased by Anderson Enterprises. For company president, since car registered to Ryan Anderson, and you are Ryan Anderson. Issue is resolved. Can't help feeling slight thrill at thought of keeping Porsche. Excited at thought of owning car. Refocus on our situation. Tell me more about Anderson Enterprises. Linda explains company setup. Meant to buy troubled firms. Break them up. Sell off their assets. Started with small companies. Planned to expand as profits grew. Compare plan to smash and grab raid, where thieves rush in, grab what they can, leave quickly. Linda doesn't appreciate analogy, but nods in agreement. She's starting to see true nature of scheme. Then ask her about Silver Star Casino and Resort, but she's unfamiliar with it. Hand her purchase contract and real estate agent's email. After scrutinizing them under light, Linda realizes Anderson Enterprises would have to proceed with purchase, unless we found way to cancel contract. She also confirms Hughes hadn't shared this part of scheme with her, another secret he kept from her. We drive in silence to gravesite, guided only by sliver of moonlight. Night feels endless. Using battery-powered work light. Reveal grave area. Remove plywood covering hole. Lean it against truck. We maneuver Hughes's body onto hand truck. Wheel it to grave. Tilting hand truck. Let Hughes' body fall into grave. Lands face up with grotesque smirk. One last mockery from dead man. Note with grim comment. Sight unsettling, but press on. Covering body. Shovel dirt from plywood into grave. With Linda's help, fill rest of hole. Then load tarp, plywood, and hand truck. Back into truck. Cover grave with dead branches. Entire process takes under 20 minutes. Amazing how quick it is to bury someone. Drive back in silence. Park truck outside. Move Hughes's Porsche into garage. Linda hands me craft beer when enter kitchen. Tell her things will go back to normal. I'll return to Laramie on Sunday. She'll resume her work on Monday. Nothing normal about any of this. Make it clear our relationship is over. Instruct her to find lawyer. File for divorce while I'm away. Tell her she'll need to handle dismantling of Anderson Enterprises. We'll discuss further details following day. I'll be staying in guest room. Can't sleep in same bed after everything. Next morning, Linda already made coffee. She assures me nothing added to it. Joins me at table. Linda informs me we can't dismantle Anderson Enterprises just yet because of clause in Silver Star Casino purchase contract. Need to pay $150,000 advance for due diligence before April 10th. Non-refundable if we choose to back out. Always more complications. Refusing to pay would result in lawsuit, costing us $50,000 plus court fees. Linda suggests we should at least investigate casino. Consider keeping Porsche, which leased under Anderson Enterprises. She's thinking practically now. After breakfast, plan to move plywood and tarp from gravesite to Hughes's garage. Avoid linking grave to our house. Linda would search Hughes' house for anything that connected us to him. Need to erase all traces. At Hughes' house. Linda checks bedroom and clothes. While I pack up study, shut down computer, gather papers, find several keys, put everything into box, almost toss blue notebook into box, without looking, but then realize might contain something important. Good instincts save me again. Blue notebook reveals plan from 2 years ago, involving young woman named Hannah. Hughes had deceived her into investing in Colorado land instead of leaving town as planned. He stole Hannah's car, drove it off cliff, fled with her money. Pattern of destruction becomes clear. Hand Linda blue notebook, hoping might offer her some solace or insight into her actions. As she leaves through it, her face crumbles in distress. Tears stream down her cheeks as she mourns her inability to see through Hughes's deception, watching her finally understand truth. Once she regains composure, ask if she'd uncovered anything during her search. Linda comes up empty, finding only few restaurant receipts that she had discarded, mentions needing to return Monday. Put out Hughes's trash can, asks if anything else she should check. Tell her nothing more to look into. Had already examined hall closet and kitchen. We'd sort through desk box contents. When we got home, almost done erasing his existence. At house, Linda and I go through papers, sorting important from insignificant. Find closing statement for Hughes' house, all owned by LLC named Alpine Holdings. More shells to crack. Discover Alpine Holdings related files on Hughes's laptop. Give them to Linda to review, while Linda focuses on Alpine documents. Find receipt for safety deposit box rental at Boulder Valley Bank and Trust, under name Ryan Anderson. He really was living my life. Wonder if one of 5 keys from Hughes's desk might fit that box. 2 keys particularly interesting. One for safety deposit box, another for post office box. More mysteries to solve. Linda observes that Alpine Holdings has considerable assets, including $540,000 left after Hughes's $500,000 investment, along with properties and house in Cayman Islands. Bastard had backup plan. She plans to check if key unlocks. Boulder P.O. box following day, but unsure about how to proceed with safety deposit box. Speculate that one of remaining keys might be for Cayman Islands house or bank account there. Possibilities are intriguing. Spend rest of day discussing Anderson Enterprises and Silver Star Casino and Resort. Decide to proceed with $150,000. Due diligence payment by April. Plan trip to Reno in May. To find reason to withdraw from purchase, if necessary. Need to clean up this mess. In meantime, would head back to Laramie for work. Linda would return to her job. Try to maintain normalcy. Before leaving Sunday, ask Linda if can trust her now that Hughes out of picture. She assures me we're in this together. Won't need each other to succeed. Hope she means it this time. Tell her I'll see her in 2 weeks. during stay in Laramie, wrap up work, take week off, need time to deal with everything. Upon returning home, Linda fills me in on her activities. She's been checking Alpine Holdings' P.O. box daily, finding only junk mail and credit card bill, which she paid using Hugh's password. To access Alpine's bank accounts, she's being thorough. Planned trip to Cayman Islands to check out Alpine's house. Linda wants to join, but can't get time off on short notice. Maybe better to handle this alone. Arrive in Grand Cayman on Sunday at 2 p.m. Take cab to 2-bedroom villa. With Caribbean view, find it furnished but dusty and musty. Place feels abandoned. Email Linda about state of house. She suggests hiring cleaning service to keep it in good condition, funded by Alpine Holdings. We plan to use it as vacation spot, possibly rent it out, making most of situation. Enjoy sun and sand until Thursday, before heading back home. Upon return, Linda proposes merging Alpine Holdings with Anderson Enterprises. This would allow us to sell Hughes's house and retain Cayman property. Smart thinking. To facilitate this, would need to impersonate Hughes. To get lawyer to grant Linda power of attorney. For merger, Linda suggests I grow goatee. Have her style my hair to match Hughes's appearance. In photos, playing his game now. Linda arranges for lawyer, one who won't raise suspicions about our plans. She works on drafting both merger agreement and buyout agreement for Hughes's share of Alpine Holdings. She knows her way around legal documents. Our strategy is to funnel Hughes's share into offshore Cayman account. Access funds later. Linda also instructs me to open safety deposit box at Boulder Valley Bank. More pieces falling into place. After 2 weeks of growing suitable goatee, getting my hair styled to resemble Hughes's photos. I'm ready. Looking in mirror feels strange. Successfully convinced lawyer of new identity, while focused on finalizing merger. Travel to Boulder to access safety deposit box. Inside, find substantial amount of cash, $120,000 along with passport, bearing Hughes' likeness, but in my name. He really was prepared for everything. Also find passbook showing over $1 million in Grand Cayman bank account. Take deep breath, collect items including several documents and card with phone numbers and passwords. Place everything carefully into briefcase, hands trembling whole time. When return home, show Linda contents of safety deposit box. She takes $10,000 for herself, hands me $110,000, fair split considering everything. Using passwords from card, Linda accesses Hughes's Grand Cayman bank account being numbered and unregistered. Allows us full control of funds. Linda changes account password. Suggests we leave money there for future needs. Smart to keep offshore backup, with Hughes out of picture. Our focus shifts to Anderson Enterprises and Silver Star Casino and Resort. Plan to visit property to assess if there's way to exit purchase deal. If not, we need to learn how to run hotel and casino. Never planned on being casino owners. December 19th, 2015. Reflecting on past year over whiskey. Think about events that unfolded 10 months ago. Linda and her lover, Robert Hughes, had conspired to kill me. Still feels surreal sometimes. After confronting them, Hughes ended up dead. Now I'm president and CEO of Anderson Enterprises, with Linda as CFO. Life takes strange turns. In May, we inspected Silver Star Casino and Resort in Reno. Found no reason to void contract. Proceeded with purchase. I moved to Reno to oversee renovations, while Linda managed finances. Continued her brokerage work in Colorado, keeping our distance probably best. Over past few months, transformed Silver Star Casino into Anderson's Desert Oasis. Preparing for grand reopening on December 21st. Actually proud of what we've built. As admire completed renovation, head towards my truck, voice interrupts thoughts, asking if I'm Ryan Anderson. Bad feeling hits instantly, before can react. 3 men assault me. 2 restrain my arms with zip ties, while third covers head with bag. Push me against wall. 1 punches me to keep silent. This can't be happening. Car approaches, shoved into back seat, forced down onto floor, terrified. Is this related to Silver Star property? Or betrayal by Linda? Mind racing through possibilities. After about half hour, car stops. They drag me into house, lead me down hallway, into room where they shove me into chair. Tell me to stay quiet, with bag still overhead. Can only see floor, heart pounding in chest. One of abductors announces, "We got him." Gruff voice asks if I caused any trouble. Another voice responds with laugh. "No trouble." Gruff voice barks order. "Go get Victoria." Wonder who Victoria is. Have no idea who Victoria is, or what's happening. Approach of woman becomes apparent through rhythmic clicking of heels on hardwood floor, alluring scent of expensive perfume. Something familiar about it, despite precarious situation. Can't help but notice her designer shoes, and slender ankles visible below bag. Without warning, she strikes me sharply on left side of jaw, leaving me momentarily stunned. Taste blood in mouth. Brace for another hit, but instead, she removes bag from head. Once vision clears, see striking woman with deep dark brown eyes, pretty face and long, almost black hair. Despite scars on forehead and chin, her beauty remains undeniable. Scars tell story of violence. After brief, intense stare, she turns and yells, "That's not him. You brought me wrong, man." Confusion washes over room. One of abductors insists, "I am indeed Ryan Anderson. Person they were instructed to capture. This is getting interesting." Victoria, visibly enraged, demands to know who I really am. Introduce myself as Ryan Anderson, which only seems to irritate her further. She asks if I know Howard Bennett. Reply, never heard of him. More mysteries unfold. Victoria then directs frustration at middle-aged man with gruff voice, reprimanding him for team's error. Vincent, another abductor, points out, I had claimed to be Ryan Anderson. Questions whether photo they had matched me, everything starting to make sense. Victoria takes photo from him, holds it up in front of me. Image shows Robert Hughes, next to midnight, blue 2013 Porsche. Same car parked in my garage. Everything clicks into place. With no lies left to spin, decide to be honest, admit knowing Hughes, as con artist who tried to steal my identity. When Victoria asks where Hughes is, moment of truth. Request she cut, zip ties cutting into wrists. In exchange for information, Victoria orders Vincent to release me. Once hands are free, tell Victoria, last time saw Hughes. He was in Colorado, having just purchased car and photographs, watching her reaction carefully. Seeing Victoria's growing anger, inquire about how much Hughes took from her. Victoria sits down across from me, reveals that under alias Howard Bennett, Hughes had swindled over $500,000 from her inheritance, another victim of his schemes. She explains met him 5 years ago, when he promised to use her money to buy land in Colorado, sell it for profit. After car accident put her in hospital, she lost track of him, had been searching ever since. Her scars suddenly make sense. Mention that Hughes' schemes were detailed. In blue notebook I had, when asked if Victoria in her name stands for Victoria Johnson, she taken aback. Recognition flashes in her eyes. Offer to show her information. At my house in Reno, suggest it would help her understand situation better. Though cautious, Victoria agrees to come, bringing Vincent and his associates along. Time to reveal whole truth. On drive back to Reno, sit between Vincent and Marcus, while Victoria drives. Upon arriving home, warn Vincent about Glock in my safe. Ask him to wait while I handle it myself. Trust needs to be earned. Open safe. Hand contents to Vincent. Retrieve 2 notebooks. Bring them into living room. Suggest Vincent and Marcus wait in kitchen. To keep things discreet, need private conversation with Victoria. Offer Victoria drink. She chooses single malt scotch, neat. Humorously remarks this isn't date. Tension breaks slightly. Detail to Victoria how she tracked me down. Through Porsche lease. Confirming my identity with Casino in Reno. Recount how Linda and I discovered her affair with Hughes and their plot to eliminate me. Watch her face as story unfolds. Then show her green notebook, which outlined Hughes' scheme to steal my identity, and later double-cross Linda. Victoria's eyes fill with tears as she reads through blue notebook, realizing extent of Hughes' betrayal and his deliberate attempt to ruin her. Her hands shake turning pages. After she finishes, Victoria hands car keys to Vincent, instructs him and Marcus to return to house. She wants to talk privately with me. Vincent hands her my cell phone before leaving. Finally alone with truth between us. Once alone, Victoria asks if I'm threaty. Assure her I'm not. She then shares that her scars, result of 2012 accident, where she'd fallen off cliff, led to severe injuries and memory loss. Her story matches Hughes' notes. Tell her Linda used arsenic to kill Hughes, keeping incident out of police hands, to avoid complications for Anderson Enterprises. Although Linda and I now divorced, we remain business partners. Her handling finances, me overseeing operations. Strange partnership born from tragedy. Victoria introduces herself properly. Victoria Johnson, CPA from Milwaukee, Her father had rented house where I'd been held. She asks to stay night and borrow t-shirt. I agree, something vulnerable in her request. Next morning, verify her story with Linda. Offer to drive Victoria back after she packs. Victoria recognizes Portia from photo with Howard. Surprised to find it now belongs to me. She understands when explained. It's registered in my name. Because Hughes had used my identity. Past and present colliding. Victoria reveals her car and repair shop. Invite her to lunch at Silver Sage Restaurant. Popular spot in Reno. Promise to discuss something important afterward. Time to make her an offer. Over lunch in my office. Show Victoria detailed spreadsheet of Silver Star Casino's finances. One spreadsheet outlines $1.5 million purchase price, including payments, loans, and costs. Watch her analyze numbers with professional eye. Victoria, being CPA, frustrated but follows along. Other spreadsheet details. Anderson Enterprises startup funds, including $500,000 each from Linda and Hughes. $890,000 for merging with Alpine Holdings LLC. House sold for $490,000. Numbers tell story of deception. Explain that $1.5 million likely included $500,000 Hughes had stolen from her. Victoria taken aback by this revelation. Watch realization hit her. She considers two options. Accepting $500,000 annuity, providing $2,000 monthly for 20 years, or joining us as equal partner and CFO of Anderson Enterprises, with salary, benefits, and bonuses. Ball in her court now. Victoria concerned about her teaching job, but suggests she could work remotely or full-time, which I preferred. Linda would take on role of vice president, focusing on investments. Victoria has 2 weeks to decide. Hope she chooses to stay. She stays for grand opening of Silver Star Casino and Resort, now renamed Anderson's Desert Oasis. Enjoys slots while her father plays blackjack. Place looks amazing after renovation. By Friday, with no word from Victoria, feel anxious she might choose annuity and stay in Milwaukee. However, on Saturday, Victoria arrives unannounced, ready to begin as my new partner. Heart skips beats seeing her. She moves into my spare bedroom. Soon finds apartment near casino. Reluctant to see her go. Confess to Victoria that I enjoy her hugs. She suggests more intimate gesture, which leads us to share passionate kiss. That quickly escalates as we move to bedroom. Everything feels right. As we undress each other, ask, "Are you sure this is what you want? Need to know this is real." We talk for several minutes about what just happened. Victoria finally says, "If we're going to have any kind of relationship, you need to promise me that you won't date or get close to other women." I agree, provided she makes same commitment. Fresh start for both of us. After our first night together, Victoria doesn't move out, but also doesn't officially move in. Leaves belongings in spare bedroom, but spends every night with me, taking things slow, smart. 2 months later, Linda comes to Reno to meet Victoria. They quickly bond over shared experiences, laughing about their history with two men, one good and one bad, past wounds healing. After lunch, Linda and Victoria return in high spirits. Linda updates me on her new boyfriend. Dr. Benjamin Carter from Boulder suggests we discuss Anderson Enterprises with Victoria next morning. Life moving forward. Few days later, private detective named Roland Thompson from Los Angeles visits casino, searching for Peter Taylor, who had stolen $700,000 from clients. Promised to invest in Reno Casino, past catching up again. Thompson shows photo of younger Hughes, which neither Victoria nor Linda recognize. Thompson inquires whether Taylor involved with Casino and Resort, now owned by Anderson Enterprises. Victoria confirms that she, Linda, and I own businesses. Thompson leaves, considering case dead end. Close call. I advise Victoria and Linda to keep visit confidential. Refocus on our work. Victoria questions if Thompson suspected lies, but I suggest we move on. Better to leave past buried. Reno properties exceed expectations. Hotel nearly 80% occupied. Casino busy daily. Success feels good. Propose vacation to Cayman Islands in October, which Victoria gladly accepts. While on Grand Cayman, propose to Victoria. She accepts enthusiastically. Perfect moment, perfect place. We marry at Reno City Hall. Reception at Anderson's Desert Oasis. Linda and her boyfriend attend. They later marry in Las Vegas, where Victoria and I are witnesses. Life coming full circle. By June 2017, Victoria and I have 1-year-old daughter, another on way. Family I'd never expected to have. Kevin Roberts, our head of security, reports two men acting suspiciously at casino. They are Andrew Wilson and Thomas Martin. Present $4 million offer for hotel, casino, and resort. Noting high revenue of property, something feels off about offer. Counter with higher offer. They promise to return with revised offer, but refuse to reveal their clients. Kevin recorded conversation, which I review with Victoria and Linda. Team debates legitimacy of offer. From Wilson and Martin. Linda skeptical about their belief in property's revenue, but suggests countering any offer they make. Everyone's instincts on high alert. Victoria considers accepting higher offer. If it comes in, suggesting $5 million might be worth it. When Wilson and Martin return with $5 million offer, I counter with $6 million. They accept without hesitation. Do not request financials, raising suspicions about true intentions. Too easy, too clean. After closing deal, Victoria, our daughter, and I move to Boulder, settle in with our furniture and Porsche. Relations with Linda improved. We expanded Anderson Enterprises with new franchises, life finally settling into place. Our second child, Ryan Anderson Jr., born in October. Linda announces her pregnancy in April. Family's growing, future bright. During this time, IRS agent Christopher Reynolds calls about potential audit of Anderson Enterprises' origins. Host Reynolds at our home. Introduce him to Victoria and Linda. Stay calm, play it straight. He inquires about Reno hotel and casino sale to Silverstone Syndicate. We only dealt with agents. Suspected $6 million price. Might involve money laundering. Reynolds confirms Silverstone Syndicate's pattern of overpaying for properties, but finds no direct connection to us. Dodged another bullet. Later during barbecue, with Linda, Benjamin, and Ashley, receive call about suspicious activity. At Reno Hotel, Kevin Roberts reports drug trafficking, past catching up again. Local and state police joined by FBI and IRS. Raid Hotel, discovering narcotics, revealing casino used for money laundering. Reno police and state authorities seize property under Nevada's asset forfeiture law. Offer it back to us for $2 million. Opportunity in disguise. Victoria shocked. Linda asks how soon decision needed. We have couple weeks, but delaying could increase price. Due to federal interest, need to decide quickly. Victoria notes publicity might make hotel famous, increasing room rates and visitors. We agree to proceed, but need to find viable managers for property to avoid living there full time. Both Linda and Victoria favor purchase, making lemonade from lemons by March 2020. Business at repurchased Reno Hotel and Casino thriving. Gross revenues exceeding $1.5 million annually. Other ventures also successful. Despite looming threat of pandemic, everything we touched turned to gold. Had sufficient funds in Grand Cayman Bank to endure financial strain. Plan to keep our employees on as long as possible. Taking care of our people matters. Reflecting on past 7 years, marvel at how fortunes changed. From dealing with sociopathic con man, seeking wealth through deceit, who ended up buried by own actions. Karma has strange way of working. To becoming president and CEO of company he founded, inheriting his Porsche, taking over Alpine Holdings, accessing his Cayman Islands account, acquiring hotel and casino. He coveted. Everything he wanted became mine. Most importantly, without his interference, would never have met Victoria. Sometimes good things come from bad. In end, con man's greed led to his downfall. While it led me to successful and fulfilling life with wonderful family, story that started with betrayal ended with redemption.